It was a cold and quiet morning in Brookhaven City. The sky was dull, and the road was still wet from last night's rain. Lina, a young cleaner in her early 20s, walked carefully along the roadside with a small bag holding her breakfast and her old cleaning gloves. Her uniform looked clean but worn out, and her shoes made a small scratching sound each time she stepped. She whispered to herself, "Just get to work on time, Lina. Don't be late again." She didn't want to lose her job at Royal Crest Apartments, one of the largest buildings in the city. She got closer to the main road. She heard a loud car engine approaching fast. Before she could move aside, a shiny silver SUV sped through a deep puddle. Whoosh! Cold, muddy water splashed all over her. Her face, her uniform, her bag, everything. Lina gasped, frozen in place. The SUV didn't stop. Instead, the tinted window slid down, revealing a woman in big sunglasses, bright lipstick, and a perfect hairstyle. The woman laughed cruelly. "Next time, don't stand where poor people don't belong," she shouted before driving off. Lina stood there, shaking slightly. She whispered, "Why? What did I do?" But she didn't cry. She simply picked up her muddy bag and kept walking. Across the street, a black car sat quietly. Inside was Kyle, a young billionaire known for keeping to himself. He had seen everything: Bella's laugh, the splash, Lina's humiliation. His eyes narrowed. "She doesn't deserve that," he murmured. Then he picked up his phone. "Find out who that girl is," he said calmly. "I want to know everything." Lina arrived at Royal Crest Apartments looking like she had been through a storm. Her once clean uniform was covered in brown stains, and her hair was stuck to her forehead. As she entered through the staff door, her supervisor, Mr. Jacobs, frowned instantly. "Lina, you're late again," he barked. I was splashed by a car," she said softly. "No excuses," he snapped. "Guests arrive soon. Get to work." Lina lowered her head. "Yes, sir." As she passed the hallway, two co-workers whispered. "Look at her," one said. "She always brings trouble," the other replied. No one offered help. No one asked if she was okay. Lina went into the cleaning closet, changed into her backup uniform, tied her hair into a tight bun, and whispered to herself, "Just survive today." She thought of her little sister, Maya, sleeping in their small room back home. She needed this job. Meanwhile, Kyle sat in his tall office in downtown Brookhaven. His assistant brought a file to him. "Her name is Lina Adams," the assistant said. "Age 23. Works 2 cleaning jobs. Lives in East Brook. Cares for her younger sister. Mother passed 2 years ago." Kyle looked at Lina's photo, her gentle smile, her tired eyes, her small sister beside her. "She didn't deserve what happened," he said quietly. "Should we take action?" the assistant asked. "Not yet," Kyle replied. "I want to see more." Hours later, Lina stepped behind the building to eat her lunch, a piece of bread and water. She sat on a crate, her hands trembling from exhaustion. She whispered, "Just one more shift. You can do this." As she took a small bite, a man wearing a cap walked past the entrance. It was Kyle in disguise. He pretended to check his phone, but he couldn't stop glancing at her. He saw how she ate slowly, like she wanted to make the food last longer. He saw how she checked her phone to make sure her sister hadn't called. He felt something unusual in his chest: sadness, respect, admiration. Lina noticed him and nodded politely. "Good afternoon, sir," she said. Kyle smiled behind his sunglasses. "Afternoon." He walked a few steps, then stopped. Something about Lina reminded him of his late mother. Strong, gentle, quiet, and always working. He whispered to himself, "She doesn't ask for anything. Maybe that's why she deserves everything." That evening, Lina finished her shift limping slightly. Her feet hurt, her back hurt, but she didn't complain. She took the bus home, holding tightly to the muddy uniform in her bag. When she arrived, Maya ran to her. "Lina, you're home." Lina forced a smile. "Yes, sweetheart. Did you eat?" "Yes. And I drew you something." Maya gave her a paper with 2 stick figures holding hands. Lina hugged her tightly and whispered, "One day, things will get better." Across the city, Kyle looked out of his office window. "One day starts now," he said. The next morning, Lina woke up early, tied Maya's shoelaces, packed her lunch, and hugged her tightly. "Be good today," Lina said. "You too, Lina," Maya replied with a smile. Lina took the bus again, wearing her old backup uniform because her good one was still soaking in a bucket at home. When she reached Royal Crest Apartments and opened her locker, something unexpected happened. Inside was a small paper bag. She looked around. No one seemed to notice. She opened the bag slowly. Inside were a warm sandwich, new gloves, a folded note. The note read, "For the girl who works with grace even when the world is unkind." Lina blinked rapidly. Who did this?" she whispered. She unwrapped the sandwich and inhaled its warm smell. A hot breakfast, after so long. Somewhere far away, Kyle sat in his office watching the building's internal camera feed. He saw her reaction, the surprise, the smile, the gratitude. He nodded. "Small steps," he whispered. "She deserves soft things." Later that morning, Bella appeared on a famous talk show, showing off her new designer purse. The host complimented her, and she smiled proudly. But off-camera she snapped at her assistant, "My coffee is cold. Fire that new girl." Meanwhile, Lina returned to her cleaning duties with renewed strength. She didn't know who left the gift, but for the first time in a while, she felt seen. That same evening, Kyle made a call. "I want her promoted," he said firmly. The regional manager hesitated. "But sir, she's just a cleaner." Kyle's voice grew calm but sharp. "She's not just anything. Make it happen." The next morning, Lina was sweeping the grand lobby when the head supervisor, Mrs. Patel, called her over. "Lina Adams," she said, checking her clipboard. Lina gulped. "Yes, ma'am." "You've been moved to the VIP floor maintenance team. Better pay, fewer messes, lighter schedule. Starts tomorrow." Lina's eyes widened. "Ma'am, I didn't apply for anything." "It's approved," Mrs. Patel said. "Congratulations." As Lina walked away slowly, whispers started behind her. "How did she get VIP? She must know someone. No way she earned that." Lina heard every word. Her chest tightened, but she whispered to herself, "Keep working. Don't lose focus." That evening, she rushed home to tell Maya. "Maya, I got promoted." Maya jumped up and hugged her tightly. "I told you good things will come," she said proudly. Meanwhile, Kyle visited Royal Crest again, this time disguised in casual clothes. He watched Lina from the corner of the lobby as she worked. "She treats everyone like royalty," he murmured, "even though no one treats her the same." He admired her more every day, but still didn't reveal himself. Tomorrow, their paths would cross again. The next day, Lina stepped onto the VIP floor for the first time. Right away, she knew this place was different. The air smelled like fresh flowers and expensive perfume. The carpet was soft under her feet, and the lights were warm and gentle instead of harsh and bright. She held her cleaning cart carefully, afraid to bump into anything. "Just breathe," she whispered to herself. "It's just another floor. Same work. Same mop." As she wiped down a glass table, a man sitting in a lounge chair watched her quietly. It was Kyle, dressed in simple jeans and a plain shirt, with no suit and no tie. He wore no cap this time, but she still didn't recognize him as the billionaire. He pretended to be reading a newspaper but kept glancing up. After a while, he stood and walked over. "Excuse me," he said politely. "Do you know where the Sky Lounge is?" Lina straightened up and gave a small smile. "Yes, sir. I can show you." They walked side by side down the hallway. "How long have you worked here?" he asked. "Almost 2 years," Lina replied. "It's hard, but it pays the bills." "Do you like it?" he asked gently. She paused. I don't think anyone dreams of mopping floors, she said with a tiny laugh. But I'm thankful. I try to do my best wherever I am. He stopped walking and looked at her carefully. You do more than that, he said softly. You shine. Lina blinked, surprised. Shine? She repeated, laughing shyly. I just clean, sir. He smiled. Sometimes the people who say, I just, are the ones who carry the whole place. She didn't know why, but his words stayed in her heart long after he walked away. Across the city, in a tall glass building overlooking Brookhaven, Bella stood in front of a huge mirror in her penthouse. She adjusted her earrings and smiled at her reflection. I am booked for 3 interviews this week, she said proudly. People can't get enough of me. Her assistant, Lindy, nodded nervously. Yes, Bella. Your followers went up again. Just then, a security guard walked in holding an envelope. This came for you, ma'am. No name, he said. Bella rolled her eyes. Probably another fan letter. She opened it casually, but her smile suddenly faded. Inside was a printed photo. Grainy, but clear enough. It showed her SUV driving through a puddle, mud flying, and a young woman in a cleaner's uniform being splashed from head to toe. At the bottom of the photo was a small sticky note with 5 words, Not everyone forgets so easily. Bella's jaw tightened. What is this? She snapped. Lindy stepped closer. Is that you? Bella scoffed. Lots of people drive silver SUVs. But that bracelet, it looks like yours, Lindy whispered. Bella crushed the note in her hand. Somebody is playing games with me, she said sharply. Send a message to my PR team. If anyone posts something about this, I want it gone. Lindy hesitated. Maybe you could just say sorry? To the girl. Bella gave her a cold look. Say sorry? To some random cleaner? For driving my car on a public road? Don't be silly. She tossed the picture onto the table and walked away. But even as she left the room, she kept glancing back at it, as if the photo was staring at her, telling her something she didn't want to hear. Back at Royal Crest, Lina opened her locker at the end of her shift and froze again. Inside lay a small bouquet of fresh white flowers wrapped neatly in paper. There was another note tucked inside. Her fingers shook as she unfolded it. Keep shining. The world sees you, even when some people pretend not to. She read the words twice, then a third time. Her chest felt tight but warm. She looked around the locker room quickly, but everyone else was busy changing or chatting. Who is doing this? She whispered. A younger cleaner named Nomi smiled at her. Wow, Lina. Are those for you? Lina nodded slowly. I guess so. Maybe you have a secret admirer, Nomi teased gently. Before Lina could answer, another cleaner, an older woman named Nora, looked over with a sharp expression. Flowers? New gloves? Promotion to VIP. Nora muttered to the others. Some people move fast when they know the right pockets to smile at. Lina heard her clearly. Her heart dropped. I didn't do anything, Lina said quietly. Nora folded her arms. Things like this don't just happen, she said. Not to people like us. Nomi tried to lighten the mood. Maybe good things can happen for once, Nora. But Nora only turned away. Later, as Lina walked home with the flowers in her hand, Maya noticed them right away. Lina. They're so pretty, Maya said. Who gave them to you? Lina smiled gently. I don't know yet. Maya grinned. Maybe it's from an angel. Lina laughed softly. Maybe. From his car parked a short distance away, Kyle watched Lina and her sister through the window. He saw the way Lina knelt to Maya's level, how she let the little girl smell every flower. She deserves more than secret notes, he thought. But for now, this is enough. The next morning at work, tension hung in the air. Nora watched Lina from the corner of her eye as they all prepared their cleaning carts. Lina greeted her politely. Good morning, Nora. Nora only grunted and continued pouring cleaning liquid into a bottle. When Lina turned away to grab some cloths, Nora's eyes flashed with something dark. She glanced around to make sure no one was looking, then quietly picked up one of the bottles from Lina's cart. She opened it, poured out the normal solution into the sink, and replaced it with a clear, slippery liquid meant only for polishing certain tiles, never for the lobby floor. She whispered, "Let's see how clean your life stays now." Later that day, a loud shout echoed through the lobby. "Someone slipped. Call security," a guest cried. Lina rushed over and saw a well-dressed man on the floor, holding his back. The manager rushed to the scene, face red with anger. "Who cleaned this area?" he demanded. Lina swallowed hard. I did, sir. This morning." "You used the wrong product," he yelled. "This floor is like ice. You could have killed someone." "I didn't, sir. I used the same bottle I always—" "Enough," he snapped. "Come to my office. Now." In the small office, Lina sat on the edge of the chair, hands twisting. "I swear, sir," she said, voice shaking, "I didn't change anything. I would never put anyone in danger." The manager sighed angrily. "You already cause whispers with your sudden promotion. Now this. One more mistake and you're out, Lina." Tears filled her eyes, but she blinked them away. "Please, check the cameras," she whispered. "I have nothing to hide." Out in the hallway, Kyle had already heard what happened. His jaw tightened. "Pull the CCTV footage from the supply room," he told security. "Now." A few hours later, the manager called Lina back into his office. This time, Kyle was there, standing by the window with his arms crossed, still dressed in casual clothes. Lina's heart jumped when she saw him. "You, again," she said softly. He gave a small smile. "Hello, Lina." The manager cleared his throat. "We reviewed the cameras from the supply room." He turned the screen toward her. The video played. It showed Lina preparing her cart as usual, then leaving the room. A few minutes later, Nora walked in, looked around, and went straight to Lina's cart. She changed the bottle and left. Lina covered her mouth with her hand. She did that?" The manager nodded, shame on his face. "Nora has been suspended. Lina, I am very sorry. We almost blamed you for something that wasn't your fault." Lina shook her head slowly. I just wanted to work in peace." Kyle stepped closer, his voice gentle but strong. "You did nothing wrong," he said. "You did your job. The problem is not your work. The problem is the way some people see you." Lina looked at him, confused. "Why do you care so much?" she asked quietly. There was a brief silence. Then Kyle simply said, "Because people like you matter more than people think." The manager cleared his throat again. "Your record is clean, Lina. Completely clean. I'll also be recommending a bonus for you for how well you've handled everything lately." Lina's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. As she walked out of the office, Kyle watched her with a thoughtful expression. "Soon," he said softly to himself, "she'll know who I really am." Outside, the city of Brookhaven kept moving, cars and people rushing by. But for Lina, something had shifted. She still didn't know who was helping her, but she knew one thing for sure: someone powerful was on her side. Bella sat in her father's office later that week, her arms folded tightly across her chest. She looked angry enough to break the chair. Her father, Mr. Dawson, a powerful real estate icon, calmly reviewed a document while she paced. "Dad, this is getting out of hand," Bella snapped. "People online are whispering about me. Someone is making me look like a monster." Her father raised an eyebrow. "Did you do something that could make people say such things?" Bella scoffed. "I splashed a cleaner by accident." "So what?" She was standing too close to the road. "Why is everyone treating her like some saint?" Mr. Dawson put down his pen. "Bella, arrogance is expensive. And right now, it is costing you." Bella rolled her eyes. "Dad, please. The girl is just a cleaner." Her father leaned forward, his voice sharp. And you are just a woman with a phone. Life can change. Don't act like the world owes you praise. Bella felt her stomach twist. She wasn't used to being spoken to that way, not by anyone. She changed the subject quickly. The photo someone sent me, it's going around again. People recognize the bracelet I wore that day. It's embarrassing. Mr. Dawson sighed. Then take responsibility. Responsibility. Bella repeated, disgusted. For splashing mud on a random girl? Yes, he said simply. Because you did it. And because the world is beginning to see the woman you've become. Bella froze. Her father's words cut deeper than any comment online. For the first time, she felt something unfamiliar. Guilt. Meanwhile, across the city, Lina opened her locker and found another note. Brighter things are coming. Don't lose heart. She smiled gently, unaware that the world outside was changing because of her. That afternoon, Kyle waited at the small cafe inside the Royal Crest Apartments. When Lina walked in for her break, he waved her over. Oh, she said with a shy smile. You're here again? Kyle chuckled. Maybe I like this place. She sat across from him, noticing a folder on the table. What's this? She asked curiously. Kyle pushed it toward her. Your future. She opened the folder slowly. Her breath caught. A scholarship, she whispered. Full training in hospitality management, Kyle said. Paid for. You'd still work part-time while studying. Lina's hand trembled. But, why me? Kyle looked directly into her eyes. Because you don't ask for anything. And because people like you lift the world without anyone noticing. Lina blinked several times. I don't deserve this. Lina, Kyle said softly, you deserve more than you allow yourself to imagine. Before she could respond, someone stood behind a column watching them. It was Bella, hidden behind sunglasses. Her jaw clenched. So it's true, Bella whispered to herself. He's helping her. Kyle continued, there's something else you should know, but I wanted to tell you slowly. Lina raised an eyebrow. What is it? He hesitated. I'm not really a normal guest here. I'm connected to this place. Lina laughed lightly. Connected? Like how? You do maintenance, she teased. Kyle smiled nervously. Not exactly. Before he could explain, Lina's break ended. She stood up. Thank you, she said, clutching the scholarship letter to her chest. I don't know what to say. Just keep going, Kyle replied. She walked away, unaware that Bella had photographed everything, and something ugly was already forming in Bella's mind. The next morning, Lina's phone buzzed non-stop. She frowned and opened her messages. There it was. A blog post, a cruel headline, a photo of her and Kyle at the cafe. Cleaner caught seducing billionaire for money? Was her hard luck story just a plan? Lina's heart dropped into her stomach. No, she whispered. I didn't do anything. Staff members began whispering again as she entered the lobby. See? I knew she was too lucky. She planned it from day one. Pretending to be innocent. Lina felt her throat tighten. Tears burned behind her eyes. She rushed to the locker room, wanting to hide. But before she could sit, her phone rang. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Hello. Lina, it's Kyle. Her breath caught. You saw it? His voice was calm but firm. Meet me by the main entrance in 10 minutes. When she arrived, Kyle stood with his hands in his pockets, looking serious. I know who did this, he said. Lina swallowed. Who? He hesitated. Not important right now. What matters is clearing your name. How? She asked weakly. By letting me speak, Kyle said. The next day, he stood in front of cameras at a press conference. Reporters flashed lights in his face as he spoke clearly. Lina Adams is not a gold digger. She did not chase me. In fact, she avoided me more than once. He continued, his voice steady. She is the most hard-working, honest woman I have ever met. If anyone believes she used me, they should question what they themselves value. People applauded. Across the city, Bella watched the broadcast on her phone. Her face twisted in anger and fear. She knew she was losing control. That evening, a soft knock came at Lina's door. She opened it and found a delivery man holding a small box. "For Lina Adams," he said. She signed quickly and opened it inside. A single red rose lay in the box with a note, "Let the world whisper. I will always speak your truth. Kyle." Tears filled Lina's eyes. She sat on the couch holding the rose to her chest. Maya walked in. "Lina, why are you crying?" Lina smiled through her tears. "Because someone believes in me." Over the next weeks, Lina's life slowly brightened. Her classes began. She wore her uniform with new pride. Staff members who once ignored her now greeted her warmly. One afternoon, Kyle visited the hotel without any disguise. When Lina saw him, she blushed slightly. "You again," she said with a playful smile. "Me again," he replied. They walked through the rooftop garden, talking about life, dreams, and everything in between. At one point, Kyle stopped walking. "Lina," he said quietly, "I need to tell you something." She turned to him. "I'm not just a partner of this building," he said. "I'm Kyle Dawson, owner of Dawson Properties. This hotel, and 5 others, belong to my family." Lina froze. "You're that Kyle?" He nodded. Her heart raced. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I wanted you to see me as a person, not a name or a number." Lina swallowed. "I don't know what to say." "Say whatever your heart feels," Kyle whispered. Lina looked down, shy. "My heart feels safe when I'm with you." Kyle smiled softly. "Then that's enough." 1 year passed. Royal Crest Apartments prepared for its grand 20th anniversary gala. The ballroom sparkled with chandeliers, long tables, and shimmering decor. Important guests filled the room: politicians, business owners, celebrities. Then the doors opened. Lina stepped in wearing a simple sky-blue gown. No diamonds. No designer label. Just grace. Gentle, natural grace that made people turn their heads and whisper in admiration. Kyle walked beside her, wearing a black suit. And for the first time, he didn't hide the way he looked at her, with pride, with care, with something deeper. The hotel director walked on stage. "Tonight," he announced, "we honor someone whose strength and kindness changed more than just our hotel." He gestured toward Lina. "Please welcome Lina Adams." The room applauded. Lina walked to the stage, her hands trembling slightly. She took a deep breath and faced the crowd. "A year ago," she began, "I was a girl walking to work with worn-out shoes and mud on my clothes. I felt invisible. But life can surprise you." The room went silent. "I stand here not because I'm lucky," she continued, "but because I kept going. And because someone believed in me before I knew how to believe in myself." She looked into the crowd, and her eyes met Kyle's. "And because kindness," Lina said, voice steady, "is louder than status." Soft gasps echoed around the room. A few people wiped tears. Even some staff members stood taller, feeling proud. After the gala, Lina walked outside in her heels, back to the same road where it all began. She took off her shoes and stepped onto the pavement. Kyle walked beside her. "What are you doing?" he asked softly. "Leaving the last trace of who I used to be," she said. "And stepping into who I am now." Kyle removed his shoes and joined her, barefoot, equal. Together, they walked forward, slowly, silently. Proof that even when life throws mud, some flowers grow tall enough for the whole world to see. If you loved this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more captivating stories like this.